Welcome to Scriptural Science, a presentation of Truth and Life Institute, Boston, Massachusetts, and Oba, Nigeria. Written and published by Ifeanyi Chukwujima, scriptural scientist and a servant of God. This presentation's ID is Scriptural Science 0034. God created Eve from Adam through asexual reproduction. God created Eve from Adam through asexual reproduction, which was exactly as God had intended to create all human beings, until the first humans, Adam and Eve, brought sin into the human life. The Bible's proclamation that the man was not created for the woman, but the woman for the man, is not just an apostle of God warning that men and women have different roles and responsibilities in God and in the human family. That apostle's proclamation was God himself, reminding mankind that, although we like to make up our own terminologies and meaning, making Eve from Adam was asexual reproduction. God continued asexual reproduction in nature to drive this point home. Romans 1 verses 18 to 20 NIV, the wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of people, who suppress the truth by their wickedness. 19 Since what may be known about God is plain to them, because God has made it plain to them. 20 For since the creation of the world God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. Sex is an aberration, a spirit that ensnares human beings and causes them to stumble and fall. Many in the world who believe themselves to be smarter than God has cheapened God's human creation narrative as kid's story, and so blinded the world to the infinitely advanced science the passage teaches. But for Adam no suitable helper was found. 21 So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and then closed up the place with flesh. 22 Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. 23 The man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was." 24 That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. 25 Adam and his wife were both naked, and they felt nauseam. And God memorialized Genesis 2 verse 24 in human sexual reproduction, where God takes from the man and from his wife to give them a child. God taking one of the man's ribs while the man was in deep sleep and closing up the cut, and making the woman from the rib he had taken from the man. Is God telling us that he had made the woman out of what he had taken from the man to serve his eternal purpose? God helps you get to wherever you choose to go with the things of life. When you choose to believe God and live in accordance with his commands, he leads you into truth and righteousness. And when you choose to not believe God and instead make up your own truths, he walks you through that path also and helps you come up with whatever deception you have designed in your heart, to the extent you desire it. 2 Thessalonians 2 verses 10 to 12 NIV, they perish because they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. 11 For this reason God sends them a powerful delusion, so that they will believe the lie. 12 And so that all will be condemned who have not believed the truth but have delighted in wickedness. We have become experts in how to communicate to one another, that when we are addressing a learned and sophisticated group of people, we employ all of the terms and expressions that we know. But when we are addressing illiterates and people from underdeveloped areas of the world, we use the simplest terms and expressions which they can understand. We have made great many careers out of helping people get their ideas across in as little time as possible, from resumes and job interviews to everything else that makes us wealth. Our communication is pointless when people we relay it to cannot comprehend what we are saying to them. If we employ these techniques to be sure we are understood by human beings, God is a better expert at doing the same thing we do, because God knows all things and knows precisely, at every point in human history, where his human children are in terms of their knowledge of nature in scientific specificity. At this age of scientific and technological maturity, anyone who studies the Bible, must do so with all the knowledge which God had given to them. Otherwise, their understanding of their knowledge of nature would block them, not only from understanding what God is saying to them, but from their salvation as well. God does not have to perform physical surgery on any human being as if he is limited to physical things. God is spirit and does everything he does spiritually. Whatever he does spiritually translates to the physical reality he intended to achieve in the things in nature. Jesus Christ, his apostles, and the prophets of God all demonstrated that God does everything he does spiritually. Through simple words and or simple touch, whatever God desired manifests itself physically.